I'll never forget that painful first week of work experience. I mean, to be honest, when you think of work experience, you think of learning how to work and you think of the experience of food or whatever you're doing in work experience. But this week in work experience wasn't all about that because I soon learned a sinister truth. Monday came, and my unfortunate work experience was a chip shop. So I got down there for 11 in the morning. I had my tracksuit bottoms on, my clean white skull t-shirt on, and a bunch of other things to make myself sound very, very stylish and clean. As soon as I turned that one corner to the chip shop, I saw a woman standing outside, shouting, Dylan, Dylan, are you here? I then came over and said, yeah, that's me, Dylan. I'm here for work experience. Yeah, right, come in here and I'll show you what you need to do. So me and her, oh, and I'll give you the name. Sarah. So me and Sarah went into the back room, and she showed me everything that I needed to do. She showed me the sauces of the chip shop. She showed me the fryers. She showed me everything. She taught me about blanching, which is you have to dunk the chips in the fryer and then take them out. She taught me everything. But let's skip a few days. Let's skip over a few days. Probably till maybe till Tuesday or Wednesday. She told me to go back into the back room and clean up, maybe give the floor a wee sweep. But then whenever I was in the back room and she was showing me how to give it a good wee sweep, she then said to me in a stern voice, a really strict voice, Dylan, don't go into that room. That room is for staff only. And you're not a staff yet, you're work experience, aren't you, man? So get this place cleaned up. But yet again, under no circumstances will you go in there. Now that she told me not to go in there, I was anxious to see what was in there. So what I did was, I started cleaning up in the back room, doing exactly what Sarah had told me to. When all of a sudden I heard a crash and some kind of bubbly noise. I knocked on the door that she specifically told me not to go in, and a man, probably in his 40s, opened the door and said, "Oh, Dylan, sorry, are you not meant to be Are you not meant to be doing your chores?" "Yeah, I'm meant to be doing my chores. Sorry, but I just heard something in here." "Oh no, Dylan, go back to do what you were doing. Don't worry about this." So I went back to do what I was doing. But something about that place that Sarah and that man told me not to go into was bugging me. I've never been so distracted in my life, but the third day of work experience, I had to find out what was in that room. So whenever the man who was in there was gone after cleaning up in there, he left the door open, the stupid idiot. I went in there just to catch a brief glimpse on what was going on in there. I wish I hadn't. Because in there, in the right hand side of the corner, before you enter the toilet, was 5 big bags. I'd say, I'm only joking, 5 big containers. Whenever I got up close to them, I realised something about them. They reeked like anything. They were stinking. To see what was so stinking about them, I opened one up, and I was disturbed by what I was looking at. Inside that container was probably one of the most disgusting liquids I've ever seen. inside that container there was probably a 100% chance of so much liquid. I heard my work experience officer Sarah call down from the counter, so I jumped out of the place, closed the door, and started to sweep up again. She then came in and said, "Dylan, to practice your skills on what we taught you on Monday, I need you to bring me 12 chicken nuggets from the freezer." Now, me being the stupid kid I was, I forgot what chicken nuggets were. Well, I didn't actually, but I forgot where they had put them. I looked for them and I finally got them. I brought down 12 chicken nuggets. And even though I wasn't meant to ask this because it could get me in trouble, I said to Sarah, "Here, Sarah, I couldn't help but notice big black containers inside the place you told me not to go." Sarah said quietly and whispered in my ear, "Come to the back now." I went into the back with her, knowing that I was going to get in deep crap. But anyway, I did it anyway. I went to the back of the room and she shouted at me saying, "I told you not to go in there, you disobedient boy. I told you not to." "I'm sorry, I just couldn't help it. It's just that the man who was in there earlier, he left the door unlocked and it's just I saw 4 containers." I heard her say under her breath, "George, that stupid idiot." I then asked, "Who is George?" "George is just one of the people here that works for me. Anyway, you shouldn't have been doing anything with those things." I looked at her and said, I promise you I didn't touch them. I just looked inside them." "You should have looked inside them. They're nothing." "If they're nothing, why you not let me look inside them?" "Because it's not about you're not the rank for that." She then walked back down to the counter and shouted, "Dylan, if I so much see you going through that again, you're out of here." I knew what she meant by that, but I needed to see for myself what that was. So at 3 o'clock after work experience finished, I hung about for a wee bit just to see if it was maybe oil or something. But I was disgusted by what I was shown. I headed the back door when all of a sudden Sarah came up with the owner of the place, Jack. She said to Jack, "Don't worry, there's loads of them in here. The work experience person was in here earlier, but fortunately the wee craphead was exposed to it." "I told you not to let him get exposed to it." "Don't worry, I didn't let him. It's just that he found it himself. I told him not to go in there, the little crap face." I then heard Jack say, well then we need to get more. We need to get more security on this door. We need to get more. Oh, by the way, when is our new shipping coming in for the white stuff?" It should be coming in on Thursday." "Thursday, right. Bring that white stuff down to table 517. I then looked and peered through the window to where the counter was, and I saw one of the most disturbing things of my life. I saw something that I shouldn't have seen by being a work experience employer in a chip shop. Let's just say what I saw was disgusting. I saw specifically the manager of the place, Jack, coming down with a big pile of white stuff and taking a bucket, filling it with the white stuff behind the counter and putting bits of spoonfuls onto the grill. I realised after a couple of minutes what they were doing. They were making burgers and chicken goujons and chicken nuggets out of that white stuff. I was disgusted. I realised now that they were feeding their customers something that was completely illegal. Sorry, illegal. But unfortunately, out of her eye, Sarah caught me at the window. I ran up the supermarket as fast as I can back to my house. The next morning, I tried to make a peacekeeper and tried to be the innocent one whenever I came down there. Sarah was standing outside the door as always, waiting for me to come in. But this time, she grabbed me by my sleeves and pushed me against the stone. She then said, "If I see you ever looking in and looking and spying on what we're doing, then I will break you." I then admitted the truth, saying, "It's not my fault you're feeding those people something that shouldn't be fed to them." Sarah then broke the truth to me whenever I went in, saying that the white stuff was just oil, and it was meant to be tasty. But I knew already what the truth was. They were making burgers out of a white substance that was meant to taste nice, but downright smelt like cow's dung. After work experience that very day, I decided I was going to do something that should have been done a couple of days ago. After Jack and Sarah left the building, I decided to sneak in with one of the bobby pins I'd found in my locker at home. I snuck in back into the room where the creators were sitting, and I tipped each and every one of them over, releasing the white stuff onto the floor. Thankfully, there was a sewer pipe right beside the hole where the creators were sitting. I drained all the white stuff out of the pipe. The next day, I was called up by my work experience employer saying, "What the hell have you done?" I walked back down and said, "What do you mean, what have I done?" "Daniel, I came in this morning at 9 a.m. and I find all this. It was you, wasn't it?" I made a threat that very night, that very morning, to the work experience employer. I said to him, "If you keep on feeding these people that white substance, well then I'm just going to have to threaten to call the police." In the end, I did call the police anyway, and the police arrived at the scene. A quarantine basically outbreak set was set up inside the building. It appears that the white stuff they had been selling their customers was now condemned and was now known as the gunge. Jack revealed, and this is Jack the employer, Jack revealed on the news that apparently his shop had been selling this place for ages, and that they'd been selling the gum for ages. They soon closed the shop after that, but I realise now that even though that was a good work experience, I will never go back to a place like that, because I realise now that I know chip shops, but I've never met a chip shop that feeds their people absolute junk. I will never do that again.